Welcome to today's tutorial. This is MS Collections. Thank you for stopping by. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing us how to draft a Victorian corset and snatch it as well. This is a very simple method, especially if you're a beginner, so make sure to stay tuned. So what I'm going ahead to do is to mark my shoulder line up, my shoulder measurement, as you can see me do on in the video. Okay, so and my neckline as well, which is as desired, but I used 3.5 by 3.5 inches. And then for my shoulder line, I went down by 1 inch for my shoulder slant. So as you can see, I've already marked out my bust point, my half cut, my waist, and my hip. So go ahead and do the same. Okay, now what I'm going ahead to do is to the same thing I have on my shoulder line, I went ahead to mark it on my armhole length to create my chest line. Your armhole length is determined by dividing your bust by 6 inches and then add 1.5 inch. That is your armhole length, and that is what I've marked here as well. Okay, now to create your armhole curve, just get the middle point of the length you've marked and then go in by 1/2 inch and go ahead and curve it as you see me do in the video. Okay, so like I said, the point where your armhole length stops, whatever you get for your armhole length, I'm using a bust of 44 inches divided by 6 plus 1.5. So that point, which for me is about 8.75 inch, is what I've marked, and which is what I drew out horizontally as my chest line. So what I'm going ahead to do is to determine where I want my Victorian corset to start. Okay, so for me, I went up my chest length by 3 inches because it's a modesty corset. Okay, so wherever you want yours to start, just go ahead and mark that line. What I'm ruling out is my bust wideness, my nipple to nipple, which is 4 inches, and that is what I've ruled all the way down. Okay, now at the half cut and at the waistline, as you can see me do at that center part, I went out by 1 inch, and then I decided to also take my line down. So your bust wideness should be from top to bottom. Okay, and then at the half cut and the waist, I went out by 1 inch, as you can see me do on that side. The same thing I went up, that's at the beginning of my corset, where I want my corset to start. I also went in by 1 inch, and then you see me connecting. So go ahead and connect the way you see me do in the video. So after that, at the other side, which is the side pattern, I went out by 1.5 inch and I did the same thing up. Okay, now this is actually optional depending on how much you want your curve to come out. So you can decide to go out by 1 inch or 1.5 inch. Okay, then go ahead and connect as you see me do. So guys, like I said, this is a very simple method. Okay, so if you're a beginner, you would really find this helpful, and even for those who are advanced, you can try this method. Now what I did at my hip line, I went up by 1 inch, and then I went ahead to connect the dots. Okay, so you can see I didn't connect it down to my hip line. It should stop at least 1 inch above your hip line. Now what I'm going ahead to do is to avoid every sharp edge. I'm just going ahead to adjust that curve on my pattern so that when I'm cutting out, I don't have any sharp edges. Okay, just to curve it out nicely. And the same thing for the other side. Please, if you're watching this video and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and make sure to share and turn on your notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. Okay, yes, and this is the pattern draft. I'll be making this corset as well, so you make sure to stay tuned for the part 2 of this tutorial. So as you can see, what I'm going ahead to do is to curve out my neckline. I want to use a sweetheart neckline for this. Whatever neckline you want to use, go ahead and curve it out. Okay, and I just used my chest line as the depth. Okay, yes, so that's it. Like I said, your neckline is as desired, but this will be a sweetheart neckline. And trust me guys, we are almost done with this. Okay, so what I'm going ahead to do is to mark my bust measurement. My bust measurement divided by 4 is 11 inches. Like I said, is 44 inches, and I went ahead to replace that intake I took there. Next, I went to my waist to include my measurement. Now what I usually do is to just take my bust to my waist directly, because whatever you have at the half cut, whenever you're marking the lines, you may skip it out. So it's usually best to, measure your bust and your waist and connect the lines. Okay, but just to mention, the half cut I'll be using is 38 inches, and then the waist I'll be using is 14 inches. Okay, yeah, so I've gone ahead to mark that, and then I measured that intake I had there, which is around 2.5 inch, and I've gone ahead to replace it. So the hip I'll be using is 49 inches, which is 12.25. That's when divided by 4, and I've gone ahead to mark it, and then I just measure that intake towards the hip, and then replaced it as well. Okay, so with that, I have my perfect body shape. Okay, now I'll be snatching 4 inches away from this corset. Okay, so do well to connect the lines as you see me do, and then because I want to snatch 4 inches away from the corset, what I'm going to do is to divide 4 inches by 4, which is going to give me 1 inch. It means I have to remove 1 inch from what I have marked so far. But before I do that, I'm going ahead to also curve the side part of the armhole. Okay, so like I said, I've replaced that at that point. Now what I went ahead to do is to come out of my armhole a bit, so that at that armhole side, just replace it at the other side of your armhole length. Okay, just come out of your armhole length by whatever you have there. I had about 1.5 inch, and from there I now went ahead to connect the side piece or the side armhole. Okay, as you see me doing the video. Okay, and then I forgot to mention, guys, make sure you go down your armhole by 1/2 inch while connecting this. Okay, please do so your armhole doesn't become too high after you're done sewing. So like I was saying, because I want to snatch 4 inch divided by 4, that's 1 inch. This pattern I'll have to remove 1 inch from what I have here. So I want to snatch it at 2 points. Okay, I want to snatch it at the center, and I want to snatch it in the side piece. As we are watching, you'd see what I mean by that. So I'm going ahead to snatch 1/2 inch on both quarters. Okay, yes, I'll snatch 1/2 inch at the center, 1/2 inch at the side. Now if you want to snatch your corset more, probably 6 inch, all you have to do is to divide that amount you want to snatch by 4, whatever you have, then you're going to locate where you want to snatch it. Okay, so now because I want to snatch 1/2 inch at the center, I've gone ahead to mark that between my half cut to my waist. Okay, please make sure you're snatching at between your waist and your half cut. It should not exceed, and then connect the lines as so. It's going to look like something that like. Okay, now the next thing I want to do, I want to snatch another 1/2 inch at my side. So I've gone ahead, you see that side, I've gone ahead to locate the middle point. That's what I've done right now. Locate the middle point, and then connect the line, draw the line all the way down to the hip. Okay, so that's what I've done. I've located the middle, and then I'll connect it all the way down to the hip, and then at the half cut and at the waist point, I'll be snatching a 1/4 inch on both sides. Why is it a 1/4 inch? Because 1/4 plus 1/4 will make 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'll snatch a 1/4 inch on both sides so that I'll get it looking like something that like. Okay, now I hope you get this, guys. So it means I've snatched 1/2 inch at the center, and I'll snatch another 1/2 inch at this side. The front piece is now going to be having about 3 pieces. Okay, Yes, so 3 pieces on one side, 3 pieces on the other side, because this pattern, I'm assuming your dress is folded into 2. I hope you get this, guys. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section. I'll do well to attend to them. And then do not forget to like this video, especially if you've come this far, and if you haven't subscribed, please do well to do so. Okay, so look at how I'm connecting it. Like I said, your snatching should be between your half cut and your waist. It shouldn't exceed those points. You just go ahead and connect it to the lines up and the line down. Okay, and we are done, guys. This is basically it. We have one more thing to do, which is our side dart. Okay, and shaping of the blouse. This is a Victorian corset blouse, so I'm just going to go, I went up by 1.5 inch, and then just evenly, just to give it a nice shape. Okay, and then when I'm cutting out, just watch the way I'm cutting out. I'll leave some excesses when I'm cutting out because of my side dart. I've not yet done that, but for my side dart, I'll be going down by 1 inch at the bust point. Okay, yes, at the bust point, go down by 1 inch. You get your side dart by measuring your shoulder to half cut from the back. It's usually different. So if you have say a 1 inch difference, your shoulder to half cut in front and your shoulder to half cut at the back, whatever difference you have, subtract it, and that will be used for your side dart. Go ahead and connect it to the bust. So for mine, I have a 1 inch difference, and that is what I'll be using for my side darts, and that is why I have it as so. So I'm going ahead to cut this. Okay, and you see I didn't cut exactly. I'm just leaving out some excesses because I'll be opening my side dart to close it. I'll be opening my side dart and closing it up, then remarking the lines, because the lines are not usually aligned after you close it up. Okay, so this is how to cut your pattern. Just go ahead and cut as so. This is a very simple method, guys. I'll also be showing us a very simple way of cutting your back piece. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, so go ahead and cut your pattern as so. Now I'm slashing my side dart open, and then I'll go ahead and use a tape to close it. Okay, so just to tape it down, and then I'll go ahead and remark my lines, because like I said, sorry, because I've created that my lines are not going to be equal again at the same point. So go ahead and just blend it in. Okay, and then you have your pieces, and please do not forget to label your piece when they are cut, so that you don't get confused. So I'll be doing that after I've cut it out. And the back piece is a very simple method I have to use and cut. What I usually do is to cut this on the fabric, and then I won't be drafting the back piece. I'll just be cutting them one way. Okay, and I'll be showing you how. It's very simple. So when you're cutting your back piece, number 3 is usually the same front and back. Okay, so I'm going ahead to measure. I have 1, I have 2, and I have 3, and I've gone ahead to mark the points they'll be joining. Okay, so number 3 is usually the same for the front and for the back. Okay, so before I explain more on that, I'll take this pattern and I'll cut it on my fabric. Okay, I did that off camera, so just go ahead and cut it on your fabric. And what I did was to add my sewing allowance to it. Okay, so because of the method of boning I want to use, I added 3/4 inch all around the pattern. Okay, yes, so you can add 1/4 inch, you can add 1/2 inch, depending on your boning style. Okay, but because of the style I want to use, which you will see in the part 2, I added 1/4 inch all around this pattern. Okay, now when I'm cutting my back piece, like I started saying, I'll cut number 3 exactly the same. Okay, now for number 2, what I'm doing, I'm just going ahead to trim off a little excess that I had in the pattern. Okay, so number 1 rather, I don't cut it for the back, because be replacing that with my modesty panel for my corset. Remember, I'm going to be having corset loops at the back, so it means that the center back is off. That will be replaced by my corset loops and my modesty panel for the back, if you know what I mean. Then for number 2, that is where we are going to be, just adding a little trick. Okay, so this is it, guys. For number 2, I'm going to fold up that bust part. Okay, yes, so number 2 has the bust part. I'm going to close up that bust part, and then I'll be using it to cut my back piece. So like I said, no number 1 for the back. Number 2, close up your bust as you see me do in the video. Can you see that? Yes, can you see that? Just close it up nicely, and then you go ahead and cut it for the back. When you close it up, you're going to have it looking a little bit straight. Okay, so like I said, number 3, cut it exactly for the back, and then you can see, eliminate that bust height as you see me do. Can you see that? Yes, so and eliminate that bust height because we don't want it having that curve shape at the back. So go ahead and fold it in, and then you have it looking like this. Okay, and then go ahead and cut, leaving your allowance. I've done that already, and you can see what we have. So we have it looking straight. This is a very simple method, guys. If you haven't tried it, please do well to try it out and thank me later. Okay, so I have my pieces. That's my number 3, and then my number 2 and my number 1. I'll just go ahead and cut a modesty panel for that. I'll show us that in the part 2 of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If this video was helpful, give me a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe, share, and stay tuned for my next tutorial. Bye.